We did it! So we've done it! Yes, finally! Finally, Newcastle have signed a player. The Anthony Elanga deal has been done, or at least people are saying it's done. It hasn't been officially confirmed by the club yet, but the usual people have put out their tweets that usually mean these things get done. So it's done. We have someone. Hooray! Finally, we've got one over the line. Yes. So this deal is being reported as 52 million plus bonuses, which I'm fine with. I think that's in today's crazy inflated transfer market. I think that's fine, especially for a player that Nottingham Forest didn't really want to sell. I think that is a fair price. Obviously, he will get a 5-year deal because that is the max that PSR will allow us to have. So we'll just go for a 5-year deal for him, no doubt, so we can just amortize that fee over 5 years. But it's great. It's great to have a signing finally done. We can breathe a little bit easier knowing we've actually signed a player who is for the first team. And it's not going to be like last summer where it's going to be a big bust again. You have to say Anthony Elanga, he is going to be a natural successor to Jacob Murphy because he is a very similar player. And he is super pacey. So having a front line of Anthony Gordon, Anthony Elanga, and Alex Isak is going to be insane. It's going to be terrifying for slow defenders. They are going to be really scared when they see these three coming at them. And I have to say, looking at some of these videos of Elanga doing training, he looks insanely fit. And that tells me that he takes his training very seriously. He is obviously not just going into the training at the club and doing the bare minimum. He is staying behind after or doing extra training. He is going out of his way to be the fittest version of himself he can be. So to me, this is a good sign. This shows that he is a professional and he is serious about pushing on and improving. And he's not just going to go to training, then go home and play video games or go out clubbing with his friends. So I think this is a really good sign that we have signed a very good player here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him play for Newcastle next season. Now, because he is in relatively early, I'll use the word relatively, because he's in relatively early, it means he will get a pre-season at the club, so he's going to be part of our friendly squads to go to maybe Celtic, then maybe going to Singapore, and then playing in the games we have at St. James Park, so there's plenty of time for him to bed in and get used to how we play, so it's really exciting. I mean, he might even feature on the first game of the season because we are away to Aston Villa. Aston Villa are a very good team, so I'm sure they're not just going to sit back at home and do a low block against us, so he might have the opportunity to start on the first game of the season, which would be very exciting. All in all, it's a great signing. Eddie obviously really, really wants him, so I am very, very happy with this, and I'm just happy to talk about is actually bringing someone into the club. I'm really, really happy. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, okay. Whew, okay, so what else has happened? Well, Callum Wilson has agreed to leave the club, and he has been a great servant for the club. This is true, but this needed to be done. The problem with Callum is he just cannot stay fit. In the last season, he managed only 22 appearances for Newcastle across all competitions and scored only a single goal. And for a striker, that is not good enough, really. So, yeah, I'm sure he leaves with all our thanks, but for me, it was time. If someone can do a good deal, then there's still a player there who can do a good job for a team. I just think it's not really for us. And the rumour is that Newcastle are in talks with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, so get the brown bag. It's kind of crazy that we are letting one injury-prone player going and then immediately trying to replace them with another younger version of Callum Wilson, who also has injury problems. This deal will be viewed by the fans depending on what happens around this deal. If we are signing players, and then this happens alongside us bringing in players, I don't think many people will mind. But if this is our striker that we are bringing in, I think people will feel underwhelmed. It feels like a very unambitious signing to just plug a Callum Wilson-shaped hole with a slightly younger Callum Wilson-shaped player. It doesn't fill me with loads of confidence. I think Everton's other striker was much better than him. But obviously, he's free. And, Eddie has lots of goodwill in the bank. So if Eddie thinks that's the way forward, then that's what we have to do. But, I mean, I feel like if we were making other signings and this was announced along with other signings, I think most people would be fine with this. I think it's fine as an option. But I don't think he should be our backup striker. I feel like he should be replacing Callum Wilson and that he should be the third striker. And we should actually look to actively get a new striker. I would prefer us to give minutes to Will Asula, if I'm totally honest, rather than bring in a really injury-prone player who's maybe going to take minutes from Will Asula away, because I saw something awesome that Will Asula had been given extra time to be on holiday because he played the under-21s, yet he has come in on the first day of pre-season training. That, to me, shows a really good attitude, that he is really keen to be in the manager's plans this season. So I would be kind of sad if his minutes got curtailed to bring in someone really who I'm not that excited about, but anyway. it is what it is. I think it's not a terrible signing if we get other signings to complement it. And then we've also heard a rumour that Newcastle have received a bid, or numerous bids apparently, from Leeds, 10 million plus 2 in bonuses for Sean Longstaff. And I think at this point you just have to take it. You say, yep, I'll take that money. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for your goals in the Champions League. Thank you very much for everything you've done. Thanks for taking the injections and playing through the pain barrier when we needed you. And good luck. Because, yeah, he must be behind in the pecking order. He must be behind Miley, surely. Surely he's not in Eddie's plans above Miley, because Miley needs minutes as well, like Asula. He needs time on the pitch. And I think we've seen that Sean is not the kind of player that we need now. We've kind of like, he doesn't really fit with the way we play and how we want to do things. So, you know, I don't want to go too much in on him because I think he's doing his best and I think he's done well for the club. But I think this is a good deal for everyone. I think Leeds get a Premier League quality player with Premier League experience who can maybe help them navigate this first difficult season. I think we get a bit of money, and Sean gets more minutes and more playing time to help with his own career. So I think this is just a win for everyone, really. Maybe Leeds are also interested in Joe Willock as well. Now, if we sell Longstaff, I would be surprised if Eddie sold Willock as well. I mean, personally, from my point of view, I think if a bid came in for Willock that was on a par what we paid for him, I think I'd take that. Because I think since his injury, he's not really been the same player. And I think his injuries now are becoming too common. So, and I think he's a player who needs minutes. I think he's someone who needs consistency, and he grows into the role as he plays more and more football. So I just feel like maybe it's not going to be the right fit for us. But I feel maybe Eddie will not want to have too much squad churn in a single transfer window. So I feel like I would accept the bid, but I don't know if Eddie would accept the bid for Longstaff and Willock. But anyway, I mean, it's exciting times. There's lots of movement. There's lots of things going on. Obviously, the Trafford deal is still bubbling away in the background, so hopefully we might have some news about that. But obviously, we've extended John Ruddy's contract at the club, and we are looking to bring in Trafford as well, a sixth goalkeeper. So I don't know how this is going to work, but that's what Eddie wants. As I said, he's got a lot of goodwill in the bank, so you know he's spending a little bit here and there with some of these decisions, but I'm sure it's all going to turn out fine in the end. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Goodbye.